It's my feel-good breakfast show.
What is it? What is it? What is it? Welcome back to it. Another installment of the Culinary Hotline playing Ting! And listen, we're celebrating women in the food industry on our Culinary Hotline. And one chef that we'd like to highlight today is certainly Nolu Dubekele, who is the owner of 7 Colors Eatery, based right here in Cape Town. And please do join that discussion and send us your voice notes to our WhatsApp line on 063-408-8863. I'm very excited about this particular segment now because I'm cooking with a lady who's going to be taking us way back home. Nolu, I was telling you, living in Cape Town now for the past, 12 years. Correct. I've lost some of my, the touch, man, the touch in the kitchen. Yes. And you're about to make a dish that is certainly reminding me of home. Chef Clem, I'm not sure if it's the same for you.
I mean, food just takes you wherever. So I'm not from the Eastern Cape, but it took me to the Eastern Cape and I just became a member. I'm not from the Eastern Cape. Yeah. But can I just say, the first time I ever went to Nolu's restaurant, it was do you remember the day?
I do, very much so.
A quiet day. I wasn't even that hungry that morning.
And you're very moody.
I was
you're very moody.
True story, which actually adds to the story. Went to Nolu's restaurant and I had one plate of food. That frown turned upside down. I was like over the table. So good, so good. And today she's gonna install that emotion in you.
I'm happy about that because I found out that we can have chisanyama, we can have amagwenya, ungoshus there as well.
Oh. And obviously the pap that we're making today, right?
And like I said, we.
we making it. I get to make this every day, but you guys don't. So I thought I'd just come and assist you with making pap. Shall we get on to it?
Please.
Absolutely.
Okay,
so
great.
let me shift all the way to the end. Can you grab your...
Is this my station?
Your station, you can move to a pot, any pot.
The entire station?
Sure,
okay, so I'll bring the...
I'll pass on to
the
you.
mini meal.
You got,
who's doing here? What's happening here?
Okay, so that's me. Okay. So I'll guide you.
Yes.
This is basically pap for beginners. I'll tell you what we have. It's very easy. We have maize meal, which is what you use to make pap.
Yes.
And then we have salt. That's all you need. There is, though, a war when it comes to salt. Some provinces add salt, some provinces don't.
Guys,
and it's so tricky at 7 Colors because we have to make 2 sets of pots because there's the customer who doesn't like salt and there's the customer who likes salt. But I'm from the Eastern Cape and I have to introduce you to my mom's pap.
Which is with salt.
Yeah, so I'll add salt.
So when people take orders, or when your staff take orders at the restaurant and the patron orders pap, you have to say with salt or without.
You know, that's the new African way of doing things. Awesome, gentlemen. So to start off, we have to put our salt into a pot.
So this is me.
Yeah. So
that's my pot.
Yeah, we've already got our water boiling.
Yeah.
So
the trick.
You have to. This is the critical part of the pap. The water has to boil.
This is how I remember.
If it doesn't boil, it doesn't matter how long you cook it, the pap will not be the right in terms of the taste. It won't be fine.
And that consistency. The pap won't mix.
Are you sure? You haven't made pap before? Like seriously?
Listen, in my household where I grew up with my grandma raising me, pap was the first thing I learned to make in the kitchen. Okay. Right? And it was one of those staples that every night we're going to have pap with something. Either pap with chicken, pap lemorojo, pap with milk, whatever. Yeah. So at least you're going to make the pap to contribute to the household.
Yeah. So remember I said this was pap for beginners.
Okay.
Unlike your grandmother who is who knows how to make this pap, we first will pour the maize meal into a bowl. So we basically separate it into 2 parts. Okay. The reason for this is that a pap, you can't have lumps in your pap. And this makes it so much easier for beginners to pour the pap and to pour the maize meal and water and make it into a paste. This will guarantee that you don't have any lumps in your pap, right? So we're going to quickly make into a paste, right?
People at home might be going, but you're going to pour it into the water anyway, into the pot. But what you don't know is that because the water is boiling already, when you add that flour or the maize meal into the pot, it starts doing this.
Correct. It does.
And then it hops onto your hand, and now you're here. You know what I mean? So in order to avoid that, you want to get it lump-free as quick as possible.
Yes, you want to. Okay, you need to add more water into
clearly.
your maize meal.
Is there a way?
It has to look this way. It has to be a
okay, so you gotta
paste,
be like
right?
proper,
So now water is boiling, right?
Yeah.
Is yours boiling? Mine is boiling.
Mine's boiling too.
Okay, just...
Don't leave me.
Okay,
I'm on the side learning. But no question. If you do end up with lumps in your pop, is there a way to fix it?
Well, there's only one way, vigorously stir. Vigorously. You know what I've seen online? There are people who are using blenders to make pap.
Guys.
But that is a no-no. That will wake up my grandmother from the grave. So the way I make pap, I don't want to upset my granny at all. And in terms of the traditional South African food that I cook, I always just want to make sure that I stick to that natural flavor and the way that we grew up making pap, right?
Wow.
So are we ready? Your water is boiling?
Yeah, the water's boiling.
Pour it in. Yeah. So remember now, you have to vigorously stir, hey?
Yeah, you gotta get in
No,
there.
you're too slow.
I was too slow. I've got to admit, I was too slow. I haven't done this in a while, so I was scared of burning.
Yeah, so
I was.
you need
But there we go.
Yeah, is it vigorously stirring? We can
I think we
increase,
need more heat,
yeah,
right?
we can increase our
Where's
heat.
my plate?
Yeah, which one's yours?
think that one's
You
over
can
there.
increase your heat
Yeah, there we go.
slightly.
So I've got a question. I know this one guy. He does some cooking segments on Expresso every now and then. He likes to make his pap with butter.
Oh, no. That is a no-no.
Is it a no-no?
It's a no-no.
What are you doing?
No, remember, we're all about traditional
Tradition,
South Africa.
right.
Yes, yes, you can make it with butter, and trust me, it tastes amazing.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to, not that it needs to be elevated, but if you're a chef, it's within us to become creative. And some people will add butter, Parmesan cheese,
Woman,
vegetables, different, like you start cooking pap with a stock. And it tastes amazing.
Does it even get the name pap anymore when it's got...
No, it's
what's
not.
the
It's
cheese
like,
in it?
it's not pap anymore, right? So can you see that our pap is starting to thicken?
Yes,
right?
it is,
So
yes.
as soon as we see the first bubble, we have to close it just for 10 minutes. And remember, in those 10 minutes, we don't open the lid and then, you let it cook. Should you open the lid, that's a spoiler for pap already,
Okay.
right?
And I guess the cool thing about doing it this way is that you can control the consistency of the pap that you get.
Most
because,
definitely.
if you were making like breakfast,
Yeah.
then perhaps you could stop at like 3/4 in, because then you'd have like motogo.
Yeah.
Which would be like a porridgey kind of
True,
thing.
True,
yeah, exactly.
True. So can we pretend that we've already closed our
Yours
lid?
is looking
Yeah.
good. I can't what's going on with my heat. My heat is not for the one. It's not doing
Let me,
things.
I'll take over. I'll put
All
the
right,
heat on.
hot,
We
yeah,
can swap
that's
places
good.
again.
All
I
right.
will look after your pap. I will look after your pap, I promise.
Absolutely stunning stuff. All right.
Okay.
Nolu, I'm
So-
looking forward to cooking with you, but yes, you were about to give us another
Yep.
point of it.
So I was going to say, let's pretend that our pap's already been cooked and we've closed it. Now we want to add the maize meal. As you said, remember, adding the maize meal will now control our consistency.
Yes.
But also remember, stirring vigorously will help that the lumps don't form.
And
in
get
your
into the
pap.
corners, get
Yeah,
into the
get into the corners, eh? You
Love it. Oh, there we go. Look at the technique. Look at how she's holding it. That's how you hold it.
Yeah.
That's how you get those forearms.
Like that.
Yeah.
Oh, not like...
Okay, listen. If you've got any culinary conundrums or questions that you'd like to ask Chef Clem or Nolu, do join the discussion. Send us your voice notes to our WhatsApp line 063408 8863. Watch that pup is going to
It was coming at me then. I just did it.
All right.
We'll be
Yeah.
right back with the
So-
culinary hotline playing.
Thank you.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
We're all about it this morning on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Welcome to another installment of the Culinary Hotline Bling! And this morning we are celebrating another lady in the food industry, owner of 7 Colors Eatery, Nolu Dubetele, who earlier on showed us how to make a proper pap. With salt, please.
No butter.
No
butter.
And of course, if you have any
No milk.
questions for either Chef Clem or for Nolu, please do send them via voice note on that WhatsApp line 063-408-8863. Zolani actually sent us a voice note. So we listen quickly. Okay, go Zolani.
Good morning, Expresso, my family.
Yeah.
My name is Zolani from Flipstown in Northern Cape.
Wow.
I want to ask Nolu how to make a retlo. She will understand what is retlo because I'm suffering a lot how to make retlo. Thank you very much.
Retro.
Bye-bye.
I'm struggling to understand what rattle is.
Rattle.
What is
that
rattle?
an Eastern Cape thing? Or, but he's from the Northern Cape, right?
But you know, his question opens up the fact that as much as we are all South Africans, we're so vast in our culture.
Right.
And we're so different. So a rattle, what is a rattle?
Rattle.
Rattle.
I'm too scared to even guess.
Yeah. I tell you what, Zolani, if you are watching, do send us another voice note where you explain what you refer to as rattle. Because none of us really know what that is right now, but that's very interesting.
And that'd be very interesting for me as a chef to find out.
Hey,
new dish on the way, a rattle.
I was about to say that, but one thing that is very common that you'll find in most traditional South African restaurants is morogo, imfino, right? And we all prepare it in a different way. And based on the ingredients I'm seeing right in front of me here, this is as different a way as I've ever seen it. Because usually when my mom used to make it, it's just about cooking down the spinach, salt and pepper, and that's just about it. But now you're adding color, you're adding texture, you're adding flavor.
Wow.
Mom, please pay attention. Okay, let's go, let's get it.
Yes, I am making what we call in isiXhosa imifino. So imifino refers to just green leafy vegetables.
Okay, just in general.
And today, because I'm in Cape Town, it is spinach. And also, I just want to make sure that I feed you guys fast enough. But we have amazing different types of green leafy vegetables in South Africa and in Africa, like morog, you know. I grew up eating utyu too. There's amaranth, there's pumpkin leaves. But today, because we want to be fast, we'll use spinach. And a spinach, for me, unlike morog, doesn't have that lovely bitter taste. Hence, I've added that flavor of the mustard with it. And because I'm a woman of color, I've added some peppers there.
Hey!
So this will be a lovely flavor, but it won't scare my granny away. And obviously, as a South African, this is a flavor that I grew up with most of the time. I'd say it's also the first kind of seasoning I got introduced to, and that is aromat, you know.
Oh, there we go.
Most chefs don't like to use that, I guess for health purposes, but like if you use everything with in moderation, it's perfect.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna cook my delicious savory spinach with you guys.
Go ahead, go ahead. And while you do that, right? So you said in isiXhosa, imifino refers to green leafy vegetables. What would be the specific name for spinach or this kind of spinach?
To be honest, we don't have a name. We call it ispinach.
Okay, there we go.
and also the easiest way to translate isiXhosa from anything is to add the E. E-peppers. That's the easiest way to speak isiXhosa.
I love it. Okay, let's get cooking.
Okay, let's go cooking. So I'm gonna take a bit of some of my oil. Just add it in there.
Lovely stuff. So at this point, your heat would be at what? A medium, right? Because you don't want to burn.
Yeah, you don't want to burn.
I can see the oil smoking already.
Especially with the olive oil. It's very, really not good. So we're gonna lower the heat slightly. There we go, all good.
Could you make this in advance?
Yes, you can. Yes,
because, I mean, you got the texture, it's not going to wilt down too much, so you can do this like a day in advance?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Chef Clem, I like to understand cooking from a scientific point of view sometimes, right? So olive oil has a lower, was it boiling point or heat point? Smoking point than, let's say, sunflower oil, canola oil.
Yes.
What is it in the oils that determines that?
For me, well, for olive oil, it's the actual fruit oil.
Yes.
That would then smoke faster than a seed oil. Seed oils tend to have a higher smoking point, which is why we deep fry it in them, shallow fry, flash fry. Whereas if you think about it, it's a fruit that we're extracting oil from when it comes to olives, and it's that oil that actually smokes a lot faster.
I wonder if it could be that because it's the fruit and not... Because with the seed, right, the process to kind of extract the oil involves, like, the drying out and then the extraction of the oil. That with the fruit, the oil is younger. So it burns a little bit faster. It's fresher, do you know what I mean? So it's more sensitive to the heat. I'm just trying to understand, like...
The thing about olive oil is it's best when you have it fresh.
Yes, exactly.
However, we do get it when it's not as fresh as maybe 6 months or a little longer. So I don't think it's that point so much. I just think it's the natural sugars in the actual fruit itself with the fat. That's what causes it to smoke so fast.
While we do that...
So also good. So it's much better, so we'll quickly just add a bit of our onions.
We did get... No, go ahead, please. We did get a reply from Zolani.
Okay, we did?
Regarding the rattle. The rattle.
Tell me.
We're about to find out. Zolani, what is a rattle?
Chef Nolu is the intestines of the sheep inside. They got the way they cook it, and after they cook it softly, and they will cut it piece. But I'm not sure how they make it. So
Okay.
it's the inner of the sheep. Please, can you please explain it? Thank you, Nolu.
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you for clarifying there, Zolani. Much appreciated.
No, Zolani should just stay tuned with us because we're going to be making the rattle.
Why they call it the rattle?
I'd love to know that, yeah. I'd love to know that because we call it ulusu, tribe, mukhodu, yeah. Malali mukhodu, inyama yangaphakathi.
The meat of the inside.
Right, so gents, yeah, so we'll add that.
Lovely.
Garlic, I love garlic. It just adds so much love
Quick question.
to a dish, yeah.
Whenever cooking is done, why is the garlic added after the onions? Why don't you just put them all in at the same time?
For me, I find that the garlic cooks much faster than onions.
Okay.
And then it starts to burn and it will give a bitter taste.
Right, okay, you don't want that.
So that's, I don't like. At times with some of my stews, I like to add it in the beginning, but right at the end also, because when it's still fresh, it has this amazing flavor and it adds a sweetness to the dish.
Hey, by the way, if you want to catch our leafy green vegetables recipe or imifino recipe, you can go to our website, expressoshow.com. So you've gone in with our colorful peppers, yellow, green, and
I've
red.
actually found another tip about garlic and when you're adding it to oil.
Yeah.
If you add garlic to a cold pan and you add your oil to that garlic in the pan, and then you heat the oil up with the garlic, your garlic takes on so much more, the oil takes on so much more garlic flavor.
Yeah.
It really comes through.
Yeah.
Wow.
And what you can also do is, if you're worried about your garlic burning as your oil gets hot, by the time that the flavor's infused, you can actually fish the garlic out.
Oh, wow.
And you'll get all that flavors.
Wonderful.
And then you just snack on garlic.
Okay.
I also like to make it into like a oil or a paste. And I find it, even cooking with that garlic with a bit of oil, has much more flavor than just adding it on your dish. Right?
Quick one, if we were to fast forward, we're going to get our leafy greens in there.
Yeah.
So we'll leave them to kind of wilt.
Yeah, we will.
Right.
Well, I like to stir it a little bit because we're not steaming the spinach.
Yes.
We're doing what, as chef calling, sautéing it. And we want it to fry. We want I love my spinach with a little bit of a crunch. So if I had to just leave it and maybe close it, it will be, the texture will change and it will cook much faster than I like.
Okay.
So in the cooking process, I just like to continue giving it love. And I mean, I believe in touching food, so...
There we go. Well, I tell you what, at home, take a mental picture of what you see. We're going to go away from the pots and make other things to be done, but when we come back, we're going to be completing our full plate with that rattle that Zolani said we should cook or give advice on how to cook. So stay tuned for another installment of the Culinary Hotline Bling! Ting, ting, ting!
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, let the beat sink in as we welcome you to our last installment of the Culinary Hotline Bling!
Ting, ting, ting!
Celebrating women in the culinary arts this morning, and Chef Nolu's been here just taking us through some beautiful traditional dishes that you can find, of course, at the Seven Colours Eatery, which she's the owner of. I'm definitely making my way there today, and I hope, Jorge, you got fresh magwinya.
We're ready for you. Ready.
Listen, earlier on, Clem, we took a voice note from Zolani, who asked us about preparing rattle. And we then asked Zolani to explain to us what rattle was, and then he explained it is like malamohodu, basically. Yes. And guess what? Zolani's on the line. Good morning, Zolani.
Hey!
How are you doing?
Good morning, good morning.
It's so good to have you with us. Listen, so rattle. Please tell me, where do they call it rattle? Because we've had malamohodu, tripe, all the names. I've never ever heard it called rattle before. Where do they call it rattle, Zolan?
Rattle, I grew up in Eastern Cape. I was studying in King Williamstown. I'm from King Williamstown, so.
Okay, so out in King Williamstown.
Oh, wow.
Is that far from home?
It's very, very close to where I grew up. Originally, I'm from Transkei, but like for school, you move into a town, and I was in East London.
Yes.
Rattle, wow, interesting. But I called a friend, and they told me rattle is actually more the intestines.
Oh, the actual intestines.
So it's just the intestines on there. Oh, yeah, so...
And Zolani, do you eat rattle quite often?
Yes, no, I just eat it after a while, but it's a traditional meal. It's very, I like it. It's a very nice meal.
It is, it is. It really sends me back home. So hopefully you'll be watching as we make this, and it'll give you some indications and some hints on how to prepare your rattle at home, right?
No, definitely,
Yes, okay.
definitely. He'll get to see how we prepare it, and as he says, it's a traditional dish, and some of these dishes you don't see, it's not every day. Tripe is something that we have, especially when a cow or a sheep has just been slaughtered, whether it's before an event or even like a traditional ceremony.
Yes.
So hence, it's like one of those things that you don't see it cooked. It's a very delicate part of the meat. And most of our chefs and butchers tend to process it for sausages. But nowadays, we are embracing culture, we're embracing ourselves, and you can find it in many different menus.
So
But there's different types.
Yeah.
So do we have some rattle here?
No, we don't. We don't have. We don't really have the intestines today.
Yeah.
What I have is basically what we call it's the stomach itself, and it's the lining. And normally you have what we call a blanket or a towel, but we also have another one, which we call honeycomb.
Yes.
So this tribe, Clem,
Let's
super,
talk about
super.
it. So last night, Nolly was like, listen, did you get that ultra white tripe?
The ultra white.
So I was like, I'm pretty sure they did, because
Yes.
I know there's some people prefer having the
This
very
tripe,
clean
yeah.
one, the very white one.
Yeah.
But then other people are like, no, don't even try.
Try it, yeah,
It's
have
got to
the-
have like the color, the contrast
Yes.
between the dark spots and the light spots.
Yes.
And that's exactly what you've made for us today.
Yes, and that's
with
it.
the honeycomb, but we're going to try the different version today.
Yeah.
What is the biggest difference besides the look of it?
Well, most of it's basically how it's washed. So this one, our butcher would have put it in like a chlorine sort of solution.
But like a food safe
yes,
one?
Yeah, food safe one, just to get the darkness and the color of it off. Other people will boil it and they'll scrub it and it will become white. With ours, it is clean because there's a misconception and sometimes there's a word they use, they call it dirty tripe. It's not dirty at all.
Please,
it's
get it
clean,
right.
it's run down in cold water, and normally what happens, you slaughter the cow on the day, wash it on the day, eat it on the day. So
And trust me, if you've been to any traditional ceremony, you know that it's usually a job that's kind of left for bomama.
Oh, yeah.
And they spend time
cleaning it,
that, running it
in
through the
cold
water
water.
pipes and just...
Yes,
oh, it's a beautiful thing
So
to
much
watch.
motion today.
Yeah.
And then the
No.
I think we should get to doing
Yes, we
it.
should get to do it.
We're
So
running out
let's
of
do
time.
it. So basically what's very important about my tripe, most of the time you see tripe, it's cooked with a lot of curries and a lot of spices.
Yes.
In the traditional Xhosa and mostly of the Ingunis, we do not put a lot of spices.
Spicing.
The flavor comes from the natural tripe itself.
Yes.
And my home recipe, which I'm sharing with everyone, is this. This is actually the fat that
Yes.
comes from the tripe.
Look at that.
And this is the secret. This fat,
there's so much flavor
This is
in
what
there.
gives the flavor and the richness of the tripe. And if I was in my grandmother's kitchen, I wouldn't even put the onions or the rosemary or the garlic there. The fat would naturally give the flavor to the tripe. So what you initially do is just let the fat cook until it melts and it has its own sort of oil. In times that we live in, this is also a good way of extracting flavor, but also saving on cooking oil, because cooking oil has become it's become so expensive.
And I'm thinking to myself now that probably the reason why a lot of people don't cook tripe at home is because usually, you know, how le kogaye and the msebenzi is being done.
Yeah.
You have it cooked in these massive
big
pots, those cast iron
three-legged pots. Yeah.
So and it's over a fire, right?
Yes,
so
and
that's
it's
what you're used to.
and it's also outside. A lot of, I mean,
process.
it is tripe. We need mask. It smells, but I also find doing it like this, you can smell the flavor of the lamb.
Yes.
So it kind of masks down.
For me,
that strong smell.
For me, that smell is like this. It's the smell of home.
Home,
It reminds me of home. So
yeah.
it's a comforting smell.
Yeah. So I'm already starting to see a little bit of the fat. You don't have to have a lot of it. This, as the tripe cooks, will melt away.
Okay, cool.
So we'll add the onions.
The onions.
Just a quick cooking process, nothing hectic.
Yeah, I guess the longer cooking process comes after you've infused all of the flavors in, and then you leave it to just sit in the pot for a long time. How long are we talking? Like,
well, we're talking about 3 hours, and also depending on what type of meat it is, it could be like 4 to 5 if it's ox or cattle. But lamb, I tend to enjoy it cooked much faster.
Okay,
so we're adding our garlic, very easy.
Zolani, I hope you're catching some tips as we're doing this. This is a way that you could be preparing your tripe as well.
Like this. And then, voila, onions cooked.
And then we're going to go with
tripe.
Is that chicken stock?
That is chicken stock. I love it because, and it's actually warm because we've already started to cook the tripe.
That's very interesting.
So I love making my chicken stock warm. And it also just enhances the flavor. Instead of, I mean, most of the time we add water, but I just find stock for me just gives it another element to it.
You talk about the rest of the ingredients, and it's salt, pepper, and the one herb, rosemary. And that's it.
That's it.
No.
That's it. And it's magic.
Yeah.
It's magic. Rosemary just also helps to just calm down that smell. And then we've got a bit of salt.
While you're salting and seasoning, Zolani, I wonder, when you have your rattle... Oh, well, we've lost Zolani. I thought he was with us still, but I was wondering what he would usually eat it with. So we've got the imifino that we made, the very colourful one, as well as the pap that we made earlier on, and it's served beautifully on one of those... what do you call those dishes?
Enamel dishes.
I'm looking for, like, the whole name, like enamel. No.
Enamel plate.
Exactly. And that's how you prepare it.
Yes,
and
that's how you
present
prepare it.
as well.
So we'd close it. If sometimes your heat is too high, just continue to add stock. And you'll see it's done when it looks exactly like this. It's got that rich flavor. You can see the fat on top. It's beautiful for a day like this where it's cold. And again, remember, this is comfort food. It's not food that we have every day. It's just food to remind us of home. Eh?
Absolutely. So this morning we made ipapa, we made imifino, and ulusu lekusha. All of it in one plate. Catch all of the recipes on our website, expressoshow.com. And of course, our thanks to you, Sis Nolu.
Thank you.
See you later at the restaurant. Seven Colors Eatery.
See you guys.
Do send us those voice notes of the culinary conundrums that are confounding you on our WhatsApp line, 063 408 883. We might be using them in our next segment.